This program is brought to you by the Payroll Department, serving the Four Corners community with expertise, professionalism, and care.
Before Jason Ragsdell wound up in a mobility scooter, he rarely thought twice about negotiating steps or hard-to-open doors. Now, they're like a fence that blocks his way, and Ragsdell wants to tear down as many fences as he can. Ragsdell was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2004, and as his legs grew weaker, he was forced to use a cane, then an electric scooter, to get around town. That's when he began to advocate for better access to businesses in downtown Durango.
It changes your planning, changes where you can go in a historical town like Durango. There's a lot of places where there's a step at the entrance, which is can essentially be as much as a fence when you're in this. It changes your perspective a great deal and makes you think about things that you never think of.
Ragsdell recently was named recipient of the Ron Halsey Award for Rural Activism by the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition. The state award recognizes outstanding efforts by individuals who advocate for the rights of people with disabilities in rural areas.
I'm usually just flattered to be in the same company with the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition. We always refer to them as CCDC. But the fact that CCDC had given me an award to acknowledge the work that I'd done in rural areas, I thought was just really flattering.
Ragsdell is a Durango High School graduate who worked as a delivery truck driver before multiple sclerosis put a stop to his career. He now works for the Southwest Center for Independence and says that his advocacy for accessibility is all about creating a community that supports independent living for all people, including people with disabilities. Ragsdell says that businesses, for the most part, have been receptive to his suggestions. First National Bank of Durango called on Ragsdell as a consultant to design accessible entrances during the bank's recent remodel.
As we were trying to achieve the proper slope and grade for the access and the ramps and tying into the handicap parking, he was the one who pointed out, well, why would you make it everyone have to go through these ramps or gradients or distance when not everyone actually is in a chair as a mobility device? And that actually got us to reconfigure so that we met those needs, but also created some additional parking for those with disabilities and a shorter access to some steps with handrails and the appropriate kind of tools there to improve the access really for everybody.
Ragsdell and his team of volunteers have helped about a dozen businesses improve accessibility with changes that ranged from installing lever doorknobs to major entrance remodels. With the exception of the bank remodel, most changes cost less than $300.
My approach to this point has been to point out that good access is good business. As the baby boomers reach retirement age, we have maybe the largest segment of the population who will be needing accessible entrances, accessible restrooms. And, I think that that's just a good approach, not just for including everybody, but I think it's a good approach for making money if you're a business as well.
You can learn more about Ragsdell advocacy work by contacting him through the Southwest Center for Independent Living website.